The first warning didn't come from satellites or generals. It came from the birds. They vanished. In the deserts of Nevada, radar operators stared at blank screens that should have been full. In Los Angeles, the sky turned metallic blue, like someone had changed the color of air. By the time the military named them, the Virians, they were already over Chicago. This isn't a story about invasion. It's a story about what happens when humanity fights for the last inch of its sky. The first craft was the size of a stadium and shaped like a crescent blade. It didn't descend. It folded into the atmosphere, as if the air itself were welcoming it. At Nellis Air Force Base, Captain Jordan Reese watched the readings spiral off the scale. "It's not metal," his engineer whispered. "It's liquid light." The ship hovered at 30,000 feet, silent. Then a single pulse of sound spread out, low, deep, harmonic. Within 5 minutes, every major communication satellite within line of sight went dark. The U.S. lost half its network. The president addressed the nation that night. Calm. Controlled. This is not a movie. This is not a drill. This is Earth defending Earth. The Virians didn't speak. They projected thoughts. They didn't demand surrender. They demanded silence. Human radio waves, they claimed, were a disease to the frequencies of the stars. The first human attack came from a stealth fighter, squadron out of Edwards Air Force Base. They launched 3 JASSM, cruise missiles at the object. All 3 detonated, mid-air, 20 miles from the ship, as though something unmade them. Seconds later, the sand below turned to glass. The first war zone wasn't a battlefield. It was a message. By morning, the Pentagon called it Operation Quiet Storm. In a bunker below Colorado, an underground digital militia was forming. Codename, Sentinel Net. They weren't soldiers. They were engineers, AI coders, drone mechanics, civilians. They learned that the Virian ships operated on frequency layers, invisible sound lattices overlapping each other. One hacker, Sophia Reyes from San Diego, found a weakness. The Virians absorbed human frequencies to track our positions, but couldn't distinguish human emotion from noise. They turned every love song, every scream, every radio broadcast into a weapon. The war became one of sound versus silence. When the ships reached New York, the skyline itself vibrated. Glass melted like wax. The Virians dropped no bombs. They unmade sound. The subways went silent. Engines stalled. Even heart monitors flatlined, not from failure, from mute. Humanity fought back with what it had: EMPs, plasma bursts, satellite-guided drones. But nothing could hit what didn't reflect light or heat. General Marcus Lane ordered the sonic counterstrike, a global broadcast using thousands of repurposed radio towers. They played one thing: the heartbeat of Earth. An amplified recording of volcanic tremors, whale songs, and the rhythm of ocean waves. Nature itself became a broadcast. The Virians hesitated. The turning point: echo weapon. Deep in a NASA black site in Utah, engineers developed Project Echo, a sound cannon based on resonance mimicry. Instead of destroying the Virians, it mimicked their communication tones and lied back. When fired, the weapon made the aliens hear their own command: retreat. The result was chaos. Their ships began to collide, mistiming their flight paths. For the first time, human forces scored a victory over Salt Lake City. But Echo had a cost. Every human who operated it began to lose their hearing within days. By week 3, the operators' ears bled. They called themselves the Deaf Guard. The war unified countries faster than diplomacy ever could. American forces joined with Japanese acoustic engineers, Indian quantum coders, and European drone specialists. They called it the Earth Line. They learned that Virian ships required constant connection to a node in orbit, a pulsing sphere above the Pacific, feeding power like a wireless heart. If the node fell, the Virians would fall with it. A fleet of modified SpaceX rockets, disguised as satellites, launched under civilian cover at T-3 seconds. The node pulsed, blinding light across the sky, all across the world. People looked up and whispered, "We hit it." But the Varians adapted. Their ships became smaller, faster, and organic, no longer machines, but swarms. The U.S. Air Force released experimental drones controlled by neural links, pilots, called them Ghost Falcons, thought-powered fighters built from graphene and plasma cores. Humanity fought in the skies over the Pacific, real pilots linked through AI. For every alien swarm that fell, 3 more rose. Earth's oceans burned blue at night. By 2026, the war reached its climax. The Varians' node was collapsing, their network fraying. But the cost was catastrophic. Billions dead, cities gone. The last plan was desperate. May Rios, yes, the same lighthouse keeper from the quiet arrival, now a communications officer in the Earth line, volunteered to send a final broadcast directly into the Varian core frequency. A human voice saying, "You came for silence. But silence is death. We are noise. We are Earth." The transmission overloaded the Varian channels. Their ships froze mid-air. The sky, for the first time in 3 years, was blue again. The war ended, but the cost lingered. The oceans stayed bioluminescent, glowing faintly at night, as if remembering, humans rebuilt slower this time, quieter, wiser. The deaf veterans of Project Echo became teachers for a new science, the physics of sound empathy. For the first time in history, the planet hummed in tune. May Rios returned to her lighthouse. Her radio still worked, and one night, she heard a sound, faint, far, like a heartbeat across the stars. "We hear you," it said. She smiled. "Then listen better this time. Fade out."